Hey guys, it's Allison. So today's video is going to be the book recommendations tag, and this tag was created by Steph Borer, if I say her name correctly. She had created this tag about 2 months ago, and so many booktubers have been posting about it, but I'm pretty late to the game because I wasn't really experienced with books, I guess you can say. Like, I felt like it needed to read more books to be able to give you guys good recommendations. So I hope you guys enjoy the video. Give it a thumbs up if you like it. Comment down below any videos you want me to do next. Subscribe down below if you're new to my channel, and I'll post notifications to get an update every time I post a new video. Unless I feel like I sound stuffy, and it's because allergies been kicking my butt recently. So the first book that I'm going to show you guys is a book that I tell people is my favorite, and I feel like it changes depends on who I am talking to. I feel like I don't know if that's just me, what book I talk about first with someone, like be like, oh, you read books? Oh, like this one is my favorite, you know? Like, I feel like it just depends on the book that pops into my brain at the time. I do have a lot of favorites, but this is one of my favorites. Like, as soon as I read this book, I'm like, this is at the top tier of my like book reading journey, and like this is always gonna be my favorite book. And I do have a book that did kind of knock this out of the park, but you know, that's for later on that I'm going to show you guys. This is Archer's Voice by Mia Sheridan. I feel like everybody has this as their favorite book, but honestly this was my favorite book. Not because a lot of people have been talking about it, because when I did read this book, I did not know anything about the book. I just read it as it was. I did tab a little bit of this, but I feel like I should reread it to like be able to annotate it more and like tab it up, because I feel like I would find so many cute things in this. Let me know if you have read any other Mia Sheridan books, because I do really want to pick up more of her books, but I haven't. So just let me know down below if you have read any of her other books. Yeah, this is one of my favorite books. So the next book is a book that is your guilty pleasure, and I felt like this wasn't as hard to choose, and it is definitely the Twisted series. Twisted Games is my favorite. Like, he can't have her, but he's taking her anyway. Like, I'm done. This is book 2 of the Twisted series by Anna Huang. This one is about a princess and her bodyguard. It kind of did get like a little, you know, risky. You know what scenes I'm talking about, right? Like the romance scenes. If I push that aside and everything, pretty sure I gave this a 5 stars out of all the other ones. I think I gave this a 5 star. Unless I did give all 5 stars besides the first one. I don't know. I did not like Twisted Love as much as I did the other ones, but this one out of the Twist series is my favorite. So the next book is a book that everyone loved, but you didn't. I read on Goodreads. It has like a 3.9 stars, but I feel like every booktuber that I've seen or like Booktok stuff, a lot of people have talked about this book, and I feel like it was so hyped. When I read it, I was just like, oh no. I did talk about this actually in my monthly wrap-up video, so I'll link that up below of how I feel about this book. But this is Behind Closed Doors by B.A. Paris. Not my favorite book, and if you want to know why, I'll just link that video up below for my monthly wrap-up. But let me know down below if you read this book, how you felt about this book. I think I gave this like a 3.5, 3 stars. So yeah. So the next book is a book that you read the fastest. I have read a lot of books in a day. I read about more than 10 books in a span of a day. The most recent book that I have read that I think I read in like 4-5 hours, it is If He Had Been With Me by Laura Nowlin. I feel like a lot of people like this book, and don't get me wrong, I do like this book. I love Autumn and Finn. I even liked Autumn and Jamie at one point, but that's just besides the point. You will see my reactions to that if you want to see that in the reading slump video. I gave this book, I believe, a 4.5 stars. Felt like it was so hyped, this book too. I think it was because like I knew what was gonna happen, because the beginning it told you, but then like other stuff happened at the end that was shocking, that made me bump it a little bit more for like the star rating. The next one is a book that deserves more hype, Reminders of Him by Colleen Hoover, because I feel like everybody talks about Verity. It starts with us, it ends with us, all that jazz, but nobody really talks about Reminders of Him. Literally, I gave this book a 5-star rating. This is one of my favorite Colleen Hoover books over Verity. It was like the single mother trope, but like not really, because she wasn't with her daughter. Like, you're trying to get her daughter back. So there's just like a whole bunch of things in this book. I'm like, wow, this could probably happen in real life. It gave me all the emotions when I read this book, and when it ended, I was like, I needed more. So this book definitely deserves more hype. So the next book is a book that is becoming a movie or TV show, and it's Redeeming Love by Francine Rivers. It came out with this movie maybe about 2 years ago. Book so much better. I know a lot of people say books are better than the movies, but some movies are better than books, but this book definitely tops that movie. So I feel like it does help to watch the movie and read the book, because when you read the book you're like, oh, okay, they look like this, the scenario was like this. This was my first book out of all the books, first book I have ever read ever since I was younger, because I was a book lover when I was younger. I read all those Junie B. Jones, Katie Kazoo, like all those books, and I stopped reading, and then this was the book that got me back into reading. I think I got this book because I knew the movie was coming out, and I was like, wait, I need to read the book first before I watch the movie. So the next book is a book that I reread the most, and I haven't reread a book. I feel like when you reread the book, you're done with it, you're like, yes, I finally finished. Even though it was such a good book, you're like, yes, like luckily I am finished with this book. I don't know, that's how I feel sometimes. Like, oh yes, I got to the end, like let's go on to the next one. But a book that I would definitely reread if I had to, Voice, probably would read Redeeming Love again. Many other books that I'm going to show you throughout this video that I would reread. I have not read a book twice, so let me know down below how you feel about rereading books. So the next book is a book from a genre that I don't typically read. I was gonna say Heartless by Marissa. I did not finish that at all. I got up to page like 30 something, 50 something, and I was like, yeah, I don't like this. I don't know, I don't really like Alice in Wonderland. Don't come after me if you like Alice in Wonderland, but like, I don't know, I don't think that's like my favorite like princess, like, you know. So like it was kind of like slow. I think the book that I'm definitely gonna enjoy is Red Queen by Victoria Aveyard, but I have been holding on reading that book just because it's a big long series, and like I feel like when I read the book I'm gonna have to finish the series, so I'm really procrastinating on that book. So the next book is a book that deserves all the hype it gets, is Spanish Love Deception by Elena Armas. When I read this book I was like, ooh, Aaron Blackford, yes. It says, pretending to be in love never felt better. This is a dating trope, enemies to lovers trope, like everything all in one. It had a spicy scene like almost at the end, but I was just like, ooh, this book is definitely one of my favorite books. Not because of that, just because concept of the book, you know. So I rated this a 5 stars. So the next book is a book that I usually recommend when asked for a recommendation. Just recently I finished this book, which is The Housemaid by Freida McFadden, and ever since then I've been like talking about this book to everyone. This is definitely a book that I would recommend to other people. This and The Housemaid Secrets, the second book to this book. A lot of people know about this book, but not a lot of people read this book. I feel like that's how it is. Both books got me shook to the core. I did not know what was gonna happen, and also it's because I did not read back of both of the books. My suspicions, my allegations, I don't know what to say. I had nothing to go off, so I think that's why I was pretty shocked. I read this on my Kindle actually. This is definitely a book I would recommend other people if they wanted like a mystery or thriller. So the next one is a book that has your favorite characters, and I feel like all the books that I have been telling you guys that is my favorite books in this like little pile that I'm showing you guys, and for the other books that are coming up, like those are my favorite characters. First I had the Inheritance Games characters as my favorite characters, but I feel like some other books top that. So I had to like not have like one specific book be my favorite characters, because I do have my favorite characters in each one of the books just because of how they are. The next book is a book that you wish you could live in, and I have to pick the Inheritance Games because, come on, the riddles, the games that they were playing in this, like all 3 of these books, the series, I just love this book, like as in like all the riddles. I was trying to figure it out with Avery. Is that her name? Oh my goodness, what is her name? I feel like it was Avery. Yes, it's Avery, I remembered. Oh my goodness, I don't know why I'm so extra. This is definitely a book I would like to live in, because I live in a big mansion. All the rooms are secret rooms, there's secret tunnels, there's this and that. Like I feel like this is definitely a book that I would love to live in just to like observe, you know. So the next book is a book that I thought I would hate but I ended up loving, is Better Than the Movies by Lynn Painter. And if you guys have seen my other videos, I feel like this is the 20 millionth time that I have talked about this. I thought, like, I did not want to get this book because I thought it would be so cringy, and like a lot of people were talking about it, hyped about it, and I was like, oh, I don't know. But then I finally picked it up, and then it was sitting on my shelf for maybe like a week or 2, and I was like, yes, I would read you because you seem like a good, easy read for me today. Ended up loving this book. My camera decided to die. I love how Wes was really helping Liz to be with her boy Michael, but Wes was in love with her and she didn't realize that. Their whole chemistry in this book was so adorable, so cute. Oh my goodness, I wish I annotated this book because this was definitely such an adorable book. Definitely a book that was worth the hype. 1, 2, shouldn't judge a book by its cover because it definitely was, and 3, just give things a try. The next book is a book that made you cry, and it's definitely Our Secrets and Scars by Macy Myers. Like, this book is a book that I have not seen anybody talk about. This is one of my favorite books of all time. I've said it in the monthly wrap up, but I got this book because of the cover, because it was purple and it's my favorite color. This is a prison pen pal romance, but I thought they were adults, but they were teenagers and up to college. I love this because it has their own writing like in the book, like they actually wrote the letters and it was cute. And how this story played out was definitely so adorable. I don't remember the part that I cried, but I definitely cried in this one. If you guys have not read this book, give it a try. So the last book, the one that tops all the books in this tag, I'm so extra, but it's a book that I wish I could reread the first time, is Say You Swear by Megan Brandy. Guys, this gave me all the feels. It made me cry. These have my favorite characters in it. Like, it answered all these questions combined in all in one book. Honestly, this was a football romance. It was kind of like love triangle trope, but then not really. Honestly, I don't think it was a love triangle. Some people think it's a love triangle. I love that it was a football romance. I haven't read like a sport romance, so I thought it was really cute. There was a lot of twists and turns in this book. This was definitely a book to read. As you guys see, I tapped this book right up. Like, so many cute parts. There's so many things in here that I could read to you guys. I feel like I should do like a reading vlog where I just like read and be like, oh, I love this, and it'll be a spoiler vlog or a reading thing. I don't know, but this was definitely the book. Topped all the books. When I read this book, I was like, ooh, Archer's Voice might be kicked out of the top 1, but it could be at the same level because one had small town romance vibes and then this one had a like college vibes, you know. They were like, in the other Archer's Voice, they were adults. This was college. It was different vibes, you know. Well, you know what I mean? You know what I mean. If you have not read this book, go get it. Buy it, please. You will not regret it. I hope you guys enjoyed the video and I'll see you guys in my next one. Bye, guys.